Goeiemorgen, good morning.
More.
This morning we're talking about how to stay positive after your immigration. So it's a bit hectic here this morning. Sorry about that. Some coffee and water and everything else.
I'm
Um,
sorry.
we all go through different phases of immigration, and I think let's start off with the first phase. The first phase would probably be where you've made this, I would say, hectic decision to leave your country. That's probably the worst or the most important or most hectic decision anybody can ever make. I see the guys that know, or the psychologists, these slimmer people, they put that in the same category as losing a loved one and moving house and all of these things. But it's like a combination of that because you lose your loved ones, you leave them back in South Africa. You are moving house. You are moving house to a total different country. You don't even know the people. You sometimes struggle to even understand the language that side. So with all this in mind, you start off on this journey, and I think that journey, although it starts way before you put your foot on the airplane, I think that journey is so important because once you leave your country and you're on that airplane, I for myself I felt a sense of relief. It felt like this was the right thing to do. We are here now. We've gone on now. I don't know what was your feelings at that stage. I know things were a bit hectic up and down. So
Yes, now I think that last week, um, before you fly, you're kind of on a high. So, and when you get there as well, because everything is new and everything's exciting. Um, so
and it
yes.
is new and it is exciting. It's like
Mm,
going overseas because this is an area you've never seen before. There's food you've never tasted before, and
mm.
everything looks lovely and everything makes fat. And so go there. Let's not go there this morning. So, Gareth Jones saying, "Good morning, guys from Christchurch." Guys and girls, if you've got a way you stay positive, I'm not going to take any negative comments this morning. I promise you something. I also sometimes need a cheer up, and this morning is one of those mornings that I feel I can do a bit of a cheer up. And perhaps you are out there, you've got this unique way that you stay positive during this period of time. Because it is a period of time, and the longer you are in this, the better it gets.
Yes, I think
So
so. Yeah, don't get disheartened
just don't
too
give up.
early.
Oh my goodness, don't give
Yeah.
up. So, giving up is probably the easier thing, but I've just looked at immigration's website as well. They've got what they call a settlement curve. All right, a settlement curve means the period it takes you to adapt to your new country, and this is probably being thought out by somebody with much more brains than me. So,
Mm.
they reckon that this is more than a 24-month period. So if in the first 24 months you still feel unsettled, then you probably are still unsettled. So
Yeah, I think give them the statistics.
the
Uh,
statistic says here, point one, you are excited about moving to a new life in a new country. And this
that's
is in month 1 to 3. That is so. You are excited. You've never seen these roads. You've never seen these parks of freedom. Then they say you might have a bad experience. They don't say bad experience where, large or small, that frightens you. And this is roughly around between month 9 to month 12. So this is still within the first year, but within the first year, their curve from a very high goes down.
yeah, to almost feeling down.
Yeah, almost feeling down to week, sorry, month 15 to 18, they say, you are not sure if you want to stay. You may decide to leave.
Mm.
And I think we've all been through that period. I'll come back to our personal story as well now. And then from week 18 to week 21, oh, sorry, month 18 to month 21, and that is a super low period. That's the lowest that this graph of theirs are going. In that graph, they say you fight against the bad feelings and decide to make the most of the opportunities here.
So I think that is the stage where you either decide to go or you
Fight the
decide to
uh,
make the most of it.
now, according to this, the graph says you're not sure if you want to stay, you may decide to leave. Even after that, in month 15, you go lower to month 18. So your whole emotional well-being still goes down further. And then after month 24, but they don't say how far after month 24 because this graph stops at month 24. They say you start to feel settled and comfortable in your new life. Some people feel settled sooner than others. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. So I think the moral of the story is you're not alone. Everyone that immigrates, doesn't matter where they come from, goes through
Yeah.
this. As they say, some people find it easier, some people find it even worse. But I think that stage where you really feel, oh my word, what have I done? Or where you kind of have to decide if you want to go or if you want to stay, that is where you should draw up your pros and cons of
Yeah.
immigration. I did it a few times.
Oh my goodness.
Mm.
At that stage, and it's weird. It's weird. You've got to listen to me. If you haven't reached that stage yet, you are going to reach the stage. At this stage, you only remember the good of South Africa.
Funny
It's
enough,
weird, eh?
funny
It's
enough.
weird. Every bad thing that ever happened to you in South Africa is totally forgotten. You just think about all the lekker vleisbraai and all these nice stuff. And suddenly you miss friends, but you don't think about the fact that these friends haven't talked to me since I've left the country at all. They haven't even sent me one message. Suddenly you miss these guys. It's 2 years down the line. You miss these guys, but these guys haven't reached out to you once. You missed it. But you
Yeah,
start thinking, perhaps this is better there than here.
I think the thing is that you miss the familiarity
Yeah.
of what it was. So then you kind of think, oh, I'm sure I can just settle into my old ways quickly. So yeah, and I think at the moment it's very
Mm,
difficult with this COVID thing going
yeah.
on.
And somebody just made this remark, and I'm going to put this in there.
Mhm.
And this is a major. And I talk to every of my clients I speak to. This is a problem. At present, people are in limbo with residents being stopped. Stay positive. We can't change this. Sadly, you can do nothing about the fact that residents, as either you have not applied yet, or you are somewhere in the queue waiting and waiting and waiting. And that is frustrating.
Yes. And
That is frustrating.
again, you're not alone.
Mm.
Most of the people that we talk to are still waiting for
Yeah.
residence. Um, yes.
It's only the very few that is on the short, that very short list.
Mm.
Only those people that get their residence within the period of, let's say, about 6 months or so.
Mm.
The rest of the people are all out there, all are waiting and waiting and waiting.
I think one thing that you just have to think about is if you give up now, I can understand why
Yeah,
people give up.
I fully
But if
understand
you
that.
give up now, will you ever have the opportunity again to get
Mm,
to New Zealand? So at the moment you are here, why not just try to sit this
yeah,
through? I know it's tough. I know it's tough.
yeah.
Oh, Patricia.
Yeah,
It's
I
difficult.
know Patricia um, and many of my other clients are very, very much in the process where they don't know what's going to happen
Mm,
furthermore.
mm. And I think the other thing is you also kind of think now, are you wasting time?
Mm,
If it takes another 2 years, maybe if you go back, you will have you'll be 2 years further into whatever.
yeah.
I can't even go there. Okay, let's
But
go to
let's
positive.
positive. Let's stay positive. One thing that is happening, residents are starting to filter through.
Yes,
I
slowly
am
but
getting the
surely.
thing, yeah, we've got our residents. And this morning, actually, sorry, it's on one of my other Facebook pages. Warwick said that his wife and kids is on the plane. They're on their way to New Zealand. This is absolutely
Is
wow
this
for
now
me.
after that woman that fought for the
No,
immigrants?
no, I don't know, but they have got their place. They're
Oh,
on the
whatever.
airplanes,
It's just good
they're on the
news.
airplanes. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is absolutely good
Yeah,
news.
just hang in there. It will
So
happen.
a few things will happen going forward. Point one, the borders with Australia has opened.
Yes.
How long that will be open or closed, I don't know. That
Mm.
is a bit of a, I would say, big gamble. So if you're in the gambling game, put some money on that. If anybody becomes sick anytime, any side of the border, they are going to close that. Keep
Yeah.
that in mind.
Yeah.
But that is it's a positive step forward.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm thinking that maybe they will slowly but surely, once the
Mm,
vaccine is rolled out, kind of open to other countries as well.
Yeah,
I really hope South Africa will be in the first line.
yeah.
It's really tough at the moment.
The positive side of this, the Australians that did come over and took up place in managed isolation is not needed now to take up place there
So
anymore.
there's more
There's
space.
more space.
Mm.
The other positive thing is, and this is negative at the start, so bear with me, it's very negative, but I'm going to turn it over to positive. There's a lot of visitors coming over from Australia now. So, point one, the negative side is the industry, the tourism industry, ain't ready for them actually.
Okay, but we're on a different
No, no,
subject.
no, no. I'm talking about the positiveness of this. So,
Mm.
um, once the tourism industry kicks in, it's going to need a lot of work, and that could probably force government to start saying, "Guys, we need more people to work."
Mm.
And
I think one thing that New Zealand realized is that they need the immigrants
oh, they need it. And
for work.
oh my goodness,
Mm.
I wish they could understand how much they need it, but that's one of
They
those things.
will, they
They
will.
will eventually. So,
Okay, then I think one way to kind of try and stay positive is all about attitude.
yeah,
If you if you think, what have I done? Am I ever going to get through this? I think if you turn the clock back a little bit and you just think that first day that you landed in New Zealand, you didn't know anything about the
mm,
country. You didn't know where to shop. You didn't know.
how to put it better.
Yeah, if you think where you are now,
Yeah,
what you've learned and how you've adapted, I
mm,
think if you just think of that, you should be so proud of yourself
oh yeah.
and what you have achieved
Because it
in
is
this
possible to
time.
put in your own petrol and watch your own. Yeah,
Yes, yes. But in the beginning, it's kind of, you don't know
yeah.
anything
So
and you adapt so quickly.
and there's so much positiveness coming out of the fact that you are here. There's hope for the future. If you haven't put in your residence yet, somewhere along the line they are going to open this. They can't keep that. Somewhere along the line they
Mm.
are going to fall under pressure. They are going to open this, and that's positive.
Yeah.
If you are in the queue, geez, you are in the queue already. Think about all the other people who's not in the queue yet, and that's positive.
Mm.
And
And
yeah,
another way I think that you can stay positive is try to surround yourself by people
mm,
that's positive. Not the people that's whining all the time, because you get that a lot, especially I think now, if all these people that's struggling to get residence and stuff stands around a braai, I can just imagine this, the talks that comes from that
mm,
conversation. So I think try to surround yourself with positive people, or if you kind of your mind goes to a negative, try very hard to
yeah.
just turn it
And
around.
if you're really struggling, phone me or phone Mariska.
We all get
We all get
negative.
negative.
We all
I,
get
I
negative.
had a very, very negative experience. A bit of a low down in my life while I was here was about 2 years ago. It's just about a year that I was here. I can't complain that I didn't have my residence or were waiting for that. We came with residence, so we were all the lucky people. But I had this low in my business that was absolutely, absolutely low. And at that stage, I was sitting there and thinking, geez, why? What have I done? I mean, I was thinking, geez, come on, am I ever going to make a living here? Everything is so expensive, blah, blah, blah. And then I took basically a day. I took a day and I reflected on why I left. Because at that stage, and that's why I say you forget. You forget. At that stage, I forgot. I was actually missing my chommies, who's never called me. I was missing I was missing so many things that I thought was better, and then I had to go back, take a step back, and I had to go back and relive the reasons why I have left. And once I have put that up in front of me again, because that was the reasons why we came. We
Mm.
didn't come because we won the lottery, or we left because stuff wasn't right that side and stuff was better
Better
this
this
side.
one.
And I had to remind myself again about why we left
Mm.
the bad stuff. You don't always want to go to the bad stuff again, but sometimes you need to put that in front of you and say, hey, this is why.
Yeah, just
Now just
remind
remind
yourself.
yourself, just get down to that portion. Uh, Somebody said we've got our residency in February and it was a huge relief. Oh my goodness, I know what you're going through. We had such a positive experience after month 3 of arriving. even been blessed with being able to buy a house.
Oh,
Wow,
wow.
wow, wow. I know it's hard, but it helps to stay positive and pray. God paves the way if you work hard and have goals. Immigration should just mean it's on a gold plate waiting for you.
No, that's true. You
I'm
have
just
to
putting
work
that up
hard.
there just for a few seconds. I'm going to read that later. Um, Another one, just hang in there. It builds resilience and character. That's really,
That's true. And
yeah,
it shows you how strong you actually are.
okay. There's a positive one here. I think it could be Vanita. The details of the split family reunification will be announced before 30 April. That's
Oh,
around the corner.
we're holding
Yeah, we're
thumbs
holding
and praying
thumbs. We're holding
hard.
thumbs. We've got so many people in limbo. It's
Mm.
absolutely. And I'm glad, even though you give me a lot of trouble, I'm glad you came with me.
Okay, I'm glad you brought me out. I can tell you one thing that I'm at the moment that's I'm struggling with. I don't think I even told you this, but
Oh my goodness.
um, you all know that we still have 2 kids in South Africa
Mm,
and 2 grandchildren. And at the moment, the oldest one, she's 4 now. She's starting to realize now that she's not going to see us. So it's starting to get very difficult.
yeah. So let's hope for the best there.
Yeah.
We have to stay positive, and even the fact that I can't see them leaves me positive in this way that our separation, um, although we see each other every day on video, it's not the same.
Mm.
Our separation has made it possible, or has made me more, how can I say? It's made me more determined to get them here. So that is just. Uh,
It's not up to you.
It's not up to me, but I've spoken to them, and it looks like they are all ready to leave
Yeah,
South
well, we
Africa.
just
So
hope that
we hope for the
New
best.
Zealand will be ready
But
to
the thing is, if I can pave the way
help
for
them.
them to come over,
Yeah,
then that'll
yeah.
be a good thing. So,
And then another thing that I think is so important, and this is a difficult one, especially for the men, I think. Um, Somewhere in along the line, you have to start to feel content with what you have.
mm,
Materialistic things is not going to make you happy. You have to feel content with what you have. So I think just think how privileged you are to be here. Can, if you've got a house, great. If you're only renting, great. You've got a house to live in. Start to feel content with what you have and what has been given to you, and stop chasing after the next best and the next best, because that's just gonna get you down somewhere along the line. I think try to feel content.
I can't get a big bit.
No, you have to try to feel content.
Yeah, that's and one of the can I say the negative things is the housing market. And it's a negative for everybody, but it's also positive. Nowhere, nowhere in the world have I ever heard about a housing market that grows like this. It's absolutely it's ridiculous on the one side, and
Okay,
it's
so how can
positive.
you stay positive?
I've actually last night came up with a brilliant idea,
Mm.
but I have before I tell anybody else, I have to see if it's legal. Okay,
Okay, that's a good idea then to just.
I really have to see it's legal because I spoke to somebody yesterday, and
Mm,
this guy said to me, I asked him, "How far are you from buying a house?"
mm,
And this is I'll tell you the client's name later. I asked him, "How far are you buying from a house?" And he said he has given up on that.
mm.
So he's put that on the side for a while, and he's just not concentrating on going forward, which it's good. He's not hanging on to the negative at the side, but in the long run, my thoughts was then in the long run, how do I get him and other people on the property market, or how do I get people who has bought a house but hasn't got money for the next house? How do I get them on the next house
Mm.
on that market? Because for me, it's important that you have a few houses actually in New Zealand. I've only got one, so I'm the last one to talk about this. And even for myself, I was thinking, how am I going to get on the property market with a second house? Because that is my pension at the end of the day. And
That's
that's how
true.
I see it.
That's
That's my
true.
pension. It's not to be bragging and say, I've got 4 houses or so. If you've got 4 houses, you can really retire well.
Mm.
I've got 3 kids. If all of them are here, I can probably give each of them a house. But I only got the house we're
You're
living in
saying
now.
that loud. I can hear it.
I know the kids can hear me. Now they want to come. But I've got the brilliant idea, but I'll speak to you
Yeah.
guys later. Let's first run this past a lawyer or
Um,
somebody.
uh, Another way that I think helps me to stay positive is you have to change your attitude to an attitude of gratitude.
Mm.
So be grateful for what you have, even if it's little.
Yeah. Somebody just made the remark that the government doesn't see the houses as your pension. I've got it. I've come from a government that doesn't worry about me, so I look after myself.
So what do you do otherwise to stay positive?
um, many years ago, I was a policeman. That's where I started off, and we had there on that one farm we had a mountain, and every time that somebody didn't do his bed right, or that somebody even anything, we were told to run up the mountain, and that was hell. It was a
Mm.
real hell. And every time I ran up this mountain, my first thoughts was, eventually I will be at the top, and I can turn around and I will reach the bottom again. I just have to go through this period of, can I say shit?
Yeah.
Of shit to reach the point where I'm. And geez, every time I ran up that mountain, I mean, there was in full keep to your gun and everything else. It felt like dying.
Can I tell you something? Every time you ran up that mountain, it made you stronger.
It did. I fully agree with you. But in the beginning, I mean, I was unfit. I came out of civil life, not
But I mean, I
used
think
to
it's the
running.
same with this
Yeah,
now. Every time you go through a struggle, it makes you
yeah.
stronger. So the next one, you'll be able to handle better.
And at the end of the day, you'll be in front of a struggle, and you recognize the struggle. You just sidestep the struggle. You won't even have the struggle anymore because
Mm,
you don't need to run up the mountain
mm,
again. You know, you're fit now. I
mm.
will start running up a few
And
mountains,
I
I
think
think.
in a relationship, if you think about how to stay positive, is when the one is down or really negative, because he didn't make his bed, yeah, he still doesn't make his bed.
She,
Maybe I should have him run up Mount Maunganui.
I don't make my bed because you always say you can do it better than me.
Okay, what I wanted to say is if he's feeling negative, um, kind of take it on you to just
Mm,
remind him about the positive stuff and vice versa. When you're
yeah.
feeling down, maybe don't get angry if he tries to remind you about the positive stuff.
I want to put this up quickly. Keep busy. To stay positive, find a hobby. Cycle, walk, clean, and declutter to your
Mm.
life. And that's a fact.
Do you know what I did when we got here? Because I didn't work at that stage. He was struggling to get the business. He was still working for someone
Yeah.
and struggling in that just to get food
Yeah.
on the table. So it was really tough. So your mind goes everywhere. So I started in South Africa again. I don't know if you know these adult coloring books. That's what I used to do all the time in South Africa when I get
So
stressed
that's
or
where all
just
our money went.
yeah. I bought the one after the other. So when we got here, I did that. When you don't have
Yeah.
anything to do, you just color because that's my way of getting rid of negative feelings, and it really worked for me. And it keeps your mind busy, and it's you're busy with something beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I started crocheting. We when just before we left South Africa, I told my mom, I don't know how to crochet. She must please show me. So she showed me, and I crocheted this whole blanket thing. And then when we got here, I actually started to crochet stuff to sell. And
Mm.
I didn't make money out of it, but it was kind of a nice hobby to just,
Kept her busy. Kept her
yeah.
out of my hair.
So that really helped
Yeah.
me. It does help if you just keep yourself
Mm.
busy.
And guys and girls, you got to remember, if you are negative today, if you are negative about your future here, you are projecting that on your partner, and that is really so. And if you can't talk to your partner about that, it's not a good situation. So sometimes you gotta say to your
I'm not
partner,
feeling good
"I'm
today.
having a shit day.
Mm,
I'm having a shit day. Just bear with me today." And perhaps if you both can sit down and just talk through it and say, why? Because normally I very seldom find two people that's negative about the same stuff. I do find the one says, "Oh my goodness, today." The other one said, "Ah, today, yes." And
yeah.
and if you mingle these two, it normally, and remember, normally lifts the one up.
Yeah.
It normally lifts the one
Or
up.
at least you kind of know where you're at that moment, so you can
Yeah,
just kind of give a little bit of support when it's
it
needed.
is.
It's very difficult. As I said, for now, um, I kind of don't want to call the children because I know that Leona is going to get upset. It's
But
difficult.
until we see them again, and it will happen. I know it will happen. It's just a question of going up the mountain now, so we can turn around to come back. So, yep, yep.
Yeah, it's hard.
And if you're really thinking about going back, and you don't know why you are going to go back, phone me. I'll tell you why I won't go back, because
Yeah,
I
just
think
after
I've
all
made my
this,
mind up
the
now.
Cape Town that's burning again
Oh,
and all
my
that, it
goodness,
just brings back so many
memories.
bad
Mm,
memories, really. How many times has
yeah,
that happened in the past, and how many times is it going to happen in the future? There's nothing
yeah.
left there. So, yeah, try to stay positive,
Yep.
work hard on it every day.
We do have, and I'm going to say this, we do have a good future in this country. We do have a good future. We are good people. We've come a heck of a long way. We we are pioneers. Remember, that's how we got into South Africa. We moved there from other countries that gave us crap. We moved there, and we are here now. And
Mm,
this is South Africans. We are pioneers. We are track people. What's a nice English word for track people? We are people that can immigrate.
yeah.
So,
And I think this is where South Africans must just stand together.
mm,
We all in the same boat in this
yeah,
country. We all went through the same thing. So we can be there for each other. I think that's one lesson
yeah.
that we should really learn is how to be there for each other.
And remember, during this time, your mind will play games with you. Your mind is it's a massive tool, and at this time, it's not good for you. Your mind's playing
Mm.
weird games with you. I actually, when I was at my lowest point, I wanted cream soda. I've told this probably a few times already. I wanted cream soda. And I actually had to go back and say, how often did I drink cream soda in South Africa? Suddenly I was sitting in New Zealand and feeling bad about the fact that can't get cream soda, that I'm longing for cream soda. And I actually had to go back and sit and say, how many times have you actually drunk cream soda in South Africa? And you know what? It was something like, I haven't had any cream soda in something like 8 years. Let's
No,
show you
your
what your mind
mind,
can do
yeah.
for you. Yeah.
And I think now with COVID, you're just
Yeah.
thinking, am I ever going to see my kids again?
I'm never going to go overseas again. I'm never going to go back to South Africa. I
It's
miss
really,
people.
really hard, but
Yeah.
it's really hard for everyone in the world at the
Yeah.
moment. So yeah, we'll just have to make the best of
I have to
it.
make the best of it.
Mm.
Thanks to everybody who shared positive stories this morning. Thanks to everybody who is inspiring us. Because some days when I talk to my clients or I talk to people I meet on the streets, South Africans, fellow South Africans, if I talk to them and I hear their stories, and some of them are real positive.
Mm.
Some of them is real positive, and then that lifts me up.
And some of it are really negative, but the people are so positive. So
Mm,
even though it's really hard at the moment for them, the positivity that they just shines through them
yeah,
is amazing. So yeah, we learn a lot
yeah.
from other South Africans as well,
So,
and from other immigrants for that
mm,
matter. It doesn't matter where they're from. Some of them has it really hard, even worse than we
yeah.
do. So yeah.
So, all right. So, thanks for listening to us this morning again. Thanks for being here. I know you got up early this morning to do the hair and the makeup and the stuff. I actually should do my hair, but
You must just do that.
I try. All right, guys and girls, stay positive. If you're really down in the dumps, you don't know how to get out of that, give us a call. Give us a call. My number is available anywhere. Just give me a call. Anything else from your side?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I can go and clean the house. Goodbye.
Bye.